And after that, I have to lay a report to the council, telling the council the numbers of the people I have here, which are not the people from here. But no matter the people in Cameroon that they are closer here, we intermarry.
Okay.
We speak the same language. But the number that was increasing, it wasn't what somebody can keep quiet because of Nigerian security of today. And that is how the agencies now started coming here to see how they can be able to do with them.
Yes. So how have you been living with them?
Well, for the numbers of the months they have been living with us here, we have not got any problem with them.
Okay.
But we have been taking care. According to the African tradition, you sleep here, I sleep here. But not like in a white man country where everybody has his own room. But now, because of the population, it has made us now the room that people were sleeping one, it now become the room of about 3-4 persons. If you just walk around, you see how the population has increased.
Okay.
Like I sometimes mentioned, Buki man have a peculiar custom. Buki man is receptive.
Yes.
That's the culture and the custom we inherit from our forefathers.
Yes.
So even when we started seeing influx of these people, first of all, we started hearing the helicopter threat, which started sending people away from their homes, and they start coming. We received them. But indeed, we never knew it was going to be so long like this. But even when they began coming in their numbers, and it has stayed up to this moment, we are adapted with the situation now.
Okay.
At a point, my community rallied around, bought rice, gari, and some other items, shared to them. We have done that here about twice.
Okay.
My very self here in the compound, I have been doing it like almost every 3 weeks. I do that, buy food, share to those around the compound. So we...
On their part, Southern Cameroonians in the diaspora through the interim government of Amazonia, groups, NGOs, and individuals have been relentlessly galvanizing funds and reaching out to their fellow brothers and sisters in destitute since the escalation of the crisis in September 2017. Unfortunately, this exercise is becoming more and more challenging given the increasing influx of the refugees. Visiting the camps in Cross River State recently was yet another thought-provoking experience by this reporter. The situation now, as compared to our last visit, is seemingly moving from bad to worse due to food scarcity, lack of shelter, and good drinking water. Bitter experiences from the refugees following the full-scale genocide in southern Cameroon are topics of discussion when two or more gather together. The few that we talked to recounted heartbreaking ordeal.
That southern Cameroon crisis. How do you manage to get here? That is, in fact, it's a long story. I've been so fortunate and the Lord has been so good to me. That day we were burying one of our old pa. So the landlord that they hired for me that came and play sex. So as they were leaving, people were running. I pleaded with them that they should help me to leave the place. And that is how I wear myself out of the village.
Madam, which place you come on? Which place you come on? Under which subdivision? Akwaya subdivision. So how long have you been here?
7 months.
Here in Danari too? 3 months. Okay, you had to run away from what was happening in your village. So you came here with who? Who accompanied you here from your household? Only you. What about your children? What about
My family.
Your family? Yeah. Okay, they came here and you followed them. Okay, okay. What about the father of that beautiful baby? Okay, he's here with you. So, how has life been have you been experiencing here ever since you came?
So far,
Only management. Only God. And by the grace of God, it's gonna be fine. Okay. We thank God.
You come for your cooking there, and you go with your husband. I go with my husband. You come see here since when? Since December last 2017. Never define it easy because of the climate or what. I don't know. My cooking them is into some local operation. Those are one them brought. I know define it easy. But we didn't really go back. Say better make them go kill you because easy for inside the vendor. You drink our water, they push, they vomit, they sing them from one hospital to another. The place, you don't too much inside the Nigeria. And the children, I know you can't take it anymore. But by the grace of God, we beg them because they said they hear how when we call, they say, go on to the pass, go on the pass. When we come up for a mojo, when we come up for like that, we come up because they don't finish them all sides. Even one has said, they are the ones that they make their camp. And like they will be threatening for rape my 2 daughters. And they begin to feel comfortable. They will see you, they call you, they put collars of fire, they will beat you with the collars, naked you. Come, they just the pass, no peace. There's no for you. Go for my problem, put you for house arrest. And that will cost plenty to get into
There is general hunger due to insufficient food. Even a few that benefited from the UNHCR supplies have since run out of stock. Pregnant women and lactating mothers seem to be hard hit here. Yes, Eno Felicia, you are from where in Cameroon, in southern Cameroon?
From Manu.
Okay, from Manu. Yes, can you tell us how you've been? How old is this child, first of all?
The child is 2 months.
Okay, it's 2 months, which means you gave birth to the child here, or you gave birth in Manu before bringing the child here?
I gave birth in Manu
before coming here due to the crisis. So how have you been finding life here?
Life here has not been easy.
Yes.
It's so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Even food to eat.
Yes.
To take care of the baby.
Mm-hmm.
There is no bath to take the baby.
Mm-hmm. But we thank God the baby is looking very healthy. So what is the message do you have for our brothers and sisters out there?
The message I have for them is that they should try and help us.
Okay. Okay, now you're picking. You born an Afoye or you born an Afomani? Okay, before we bring her. Since when this thing happened, you come for here, how you find life for here with this small picking?
Since this thing happened, we come here. Things they very hard. Even the house where they live, they find. Then at times they throw mat for ground, they sleep. No mosquito net, no good living.
Okay. So if they figure chance, may you talk for your brothers and sisters. One day where they know they for year where they feel they see you from place where they day you talk for them. Say what the diaspora.
If they get anything where they feel help with, maybe as we get some more, they fine.
Okay.
For like them.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Children as well are weak and malnourished. The morale of these refugees was further dampened when news broke out of the abduction of Sisiku Ayuk Julius and his cabinet members in Abuja last January the 5th. According to them, life has since not been the same again.
Well, what I want to say is since when bound from Gala and the team Pashufai, Madame Nalova and others, they came visiting us here with so much promises that they made, and we felt really happy knowing that our people have not abandoned us. But just it was rather unfortunate for us, and it has been so much pain to us ever since they left. And what we got next was their arrest, abduction, and the rest. So it's not been so easy with us because before we really used to have support from them coming through other foreign bodies, But ever since their arrest, it has been a real challenge on our side. It's not been easy. So much to say that we barely depend on the UNHCR assistance, which does not easily come by. And even when it does, not all the refugees get to benefit, because we get people invading here or influxing here every moment and now. But so not all have been privileged to have been registered by the UNHCR.
Until that sad incident, the interim government was more regular to the camps than now. However, the Department of Health and Social Services, HSS, groups, NGOs, and some humanitarian services, most of them activated by the interim government, have been putting in their own quota in extending a hand of fellowship to the refugees. One of such groups is the Electronic Food Bank that paid them a visit recently. Represented by two dynamic ladies, that is Bonsiru Menjo Paula and Hagen Aleno, the Electronic Food Bank reached out to refugees in Cross River State with food items, toiletries, medication, cash, and above all, smiles and hope. The peculiarities that characterized the visit of Electronic Food Bank team was their special moment with the kids, where they sang and danced. Special attention was also paid to pregnant women and lactating mothers. The traditional authorities of the host communities were not also left out, as their hospitality to fellow Southern Cameroonians was worthy of appreciation. This done, some of the traditional rulers could not hide their feelings after the courtesy calls.
I am surprised because if I have anything, I will give to people. And if NGO or whichever organization that is coming that you have come, I want those who are supposed to benefit from this project to benefit and not to give me food again.
No, when they don't have, they will come here.
I understand that, so I'm perplexed. But in all, I say thank you. God
Thank you
bless
so much.
At least expect this, because I am looking to give to them.
Oh, bless
Not
you.
when you are supposed to come to give to them, bringing it to me again. I'm not grateful. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Especially the team that has come for whatever you have done here, the love you have shown, the care and the human mind you have for your brothers, our brothers. We are saying that your trip back, God will grant you journey mercies, and more fruitful activities will come that you will make your brothers feel more at home than this, in the name of Jesus Christ. Thank you very much.
In all, we paid unannounced visit to 7 refugee camps, namely Abokim Waterfall, Ikom Center, Bendege, Danari 1, Danari 2, Obodokate Ranch, and Deeper Life Bible Church Center, Ikom. According to the visitors, it is so disheartening seeing fellow brothers and sisters with children struggling to survive in a strange environment on very little or no food, clothing, and shelter. It was an emotional moment during our trip to one of the camps where we met this young man who escaped military brutality in his native Dadi locality. He was a student, now turned bike rider in another man's land. He told us how life has been to him so far.
Okay, 5 months since you've been out of Dadi.
So while here, how do you survive? How do you survive by this bike?
See my bike.
Okay. The bike looks. This is the bike he uses in transporting passengers. You can see how the bike is like, but at least he's surviving. He's making a life out of it. Maybe better than others who are there in the refugee camps. And you see, our sisters are just so emotional because they thought he was from this village. They started talking and cracking jokes. When he told them his story, they went emotional.
The tongue of a stranger.
Don't make it possible now.
We equally met this father, a southern Cameroonian, returning from the burial of yet another refugee who passed away in one of the camps. Adbasua.
Yeah.
Okay.
After express before you come to this, after the next village.
When did you escape Cameroon?
From 1st of October.
Okay, 1st of October. Okay, last year. And since then you have been living here. How has life been?
Huh?
Has life been easy with you?
No,
Your experience?
The natives have been cooperative.
Okay, the natives have been cooperative.
But the life is still
Okay.
The UN.
Okay, UN came and assisted. Okay, all right. Okay, we are happy to see you, and we are also happy that you had time to talk with us. But by the grace of God, all is going to be well. Yes. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Interestingly, a good number of fleeing southern Cameroonians into border localities of Nigeria share the same language and culture. They are either of the Ejagan or the Boki tribes. Despite these cultural similarities and hospitality of the host communities, food and shelter remain the most challenging factors, as testified by Chief Ayuk Oga Raphael of Danari 2.
Apart from the challenge of even if we are doing anything, the government or whichever agency that is responsible for these people, well, they should benefit from it. And our problem is here, they don't come. They always remain at Abonorok that there is no road, And put the thing, you have passed in here with this car. That means at least this is a dry season. Now every category of a car can come in here, but they have been, I don't know, doing it deliberately. And if this food were meant for refugees in Danari, two in particular, have not been benefiting.
Okay. So are these all the challenges you face here? We
see that the social amenities we have here, that is borehole, there are only 2 boreholes. At least that was carrying the capacity of the population that was here. But now that the population had geometrically increased, you see there's that tendency we needed more than this, because this is a dry season. It's not advisable to go to the stream because it's a big stream, and with the dryness now we can begin to get, if we use it, you only use it for cooking. If you use it for drinking, you might contact certain waterborne diseases, which with the level of the poor health facilities that we have here, that's another problem. So these are our challenges. Health-wise, water and the sanitation. Like I earlier mentioned, because of the overpopulation around here, having one toilet, especially in my palace here, is not enough. And to go in by digging this or another, sinking another toilet, it's costly, which I need to at least gather myself to get in money in order to do that. Those are the things we have.
All right.
If we can get assistance from any level of organizations, it will better the lives of the resident refugees here. Indeed, so they have been suffering.
Are you now saying that the United Nations Refugee Agency has not come here even to register one person?
They have been coming to do that registration exercise, and we keep on hearing they give food at Abonorok, they give food at Basha. Here they have not been giving them.
Okay, but as for registration, they have come here.
They're coming to get data from them, but at the end of the day, they give welfare to the people on the road.
Okay. On his part, His Royal Highness Chief Onom Sunday of Becheve in Obodo Ranch and his community joined their voices and appealed to Doctors Without Borders, who readily constructed 3 pit latrines for the refugees. He lamented that living at the summit of the mountain greatly deprives them of having access to the precious liquid.
The first appeal I made is their shelter now is a problem. Then food. Our food is number one. Because now sometimes like they gave them food since in December. They just brought food again last 2 months, 2 weeks here. So the people are, maybe if you look at some of them, you look at that they are macheting. They are not as how they came from their houses.
Okay.
So those things, if you have considered the issue of food, then another thing is another water too. Because the water source at where the camp, there is no water close to the camp. So I was talking to the United Nations who came here, the United Nations on Refugee. So I took them there and I said if they can be able to drill a borehole water, so that the people can equally be getting close to water. Because they live from there about 1 kilometer to where they can get water source. So I think that is number one of the major things.
We thus came across this locally constructed spring where the village now depends on after every source has run dry due to the intense dry season. There is total fear in Obodo as well as in other refugee camps as the rainy season fast approaches. This fear has pushed the local government authority to ensure that some health facilities function 24/24, like the case in Obodo Health Center. This has been testified by the senior nurse there.
24 hours. Oh, really? Yes, we work 24 hours here. Even before now, we work 24 hours. Our government said we should work 24 hours. So we do run shift. Like this morning, as we have a lot of them coming in, all of us will choke up in one shift and continue to work. But if the work is light, we do run shift. So we work in the morning, afternoon, and night. Because we always have delivery. We don't know when the lady will come. So we always be here for them. We are always here for them.
Our visit was, however, graced by the coming into this world of a newborn Southern Cameroonian. With the messages of hope and goodwill conveyed by various humanitarian services, groups and individuals, Southern Cameroonians are hopeful and certain that a lasting solution would be found within shortest possible time so as to guarantee their safe return home.
Make this war finish, we will go back. Let God settle this matter so that we go back.
The old, the young, even the physically challenged have their story to tell.
Obasimabel, you come from where? Ekwesem. Kekukesem. In which subdivision? Akwaya subdivision. What made you to come into this village from Akwaya? Because there is war. Then who is fighting the war? Who started the war or who is fighting the war? It's Paul Biya. Okay, Paul Biya is fighting war. With who? With the English. Why is he fighting war with English? Okay, English wanted to stay in their own land, and Paul Biya say, and Paul Biya don't want to agree. So you came here alone, or you came with who? Okay, you came with your mother and your father. Okay, but are you happy living here? You want to go back? But are they in this village friendly? Do they like you? Do you play with them? Oh, you play with them. It means they are very hospitable and friendly, eh? Okay, thank you very much.
you.